The Twisted Bow is one of the rarest and most expensive items in old school RuneScape that can only be acquired one of two ways: by getting extremely lucky at the Chambers of Xeric, or buying one from another player. I, as a working dad, don't have tons of time to grind out dozens, potentially hundreds of raids to try to get one for myself, so I'm choosing the latter: to buy one from another player. Only one problem: my cash stack. This weapon goes for a whopping 1.6 billion gold on the Grand Exchange, meaning that if I wanted to get my hands on one, I'm either going to be saving my GP for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna have to do a rebuild. But what is a rebuild? Well, I'm glad you asked. A rebuild is the act of liquidating one's bank in order to buy a strong, versatile weapon which can make the money back. Most commonly done with mega rares due to their strength justifying the high cost. Rebuilds are a slightly controversial thing to do these days, since there are 3 mega rares, one for each combat style, and the content in old school RuneScape is balanced quite well around the 3 different styles, making the decision for which mega rare to do a rebuild on much less obvious. Some players even go as far as to say that it's not even worth doing a rebuild anymore because of how much content it limits you from doing. So we're approaching this rebuild with 2 questions. 1, can I do a rebuild in 2026? And 2, is it actually worth doing? This is a new series that I'm planning on releasing regular episodes on to allow you to follow my journey. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, I would really appreciate it if you like the video, dropped a sub, and maybe even leave a comment down below. We are getting super close to 10,000 subs, and I would love to hit that number by the time my channel hits the 1-year mark, so let's get into it and sell our entire bank. Alright, well, let's get started. Here's the bank. We're looking at a total bank value of 1.85 bill right now. Currently, the Twisted Bow is going for just over 1.6, so if I sold my entire bank, I should still have 200 mil left. However, that includes things like my dragon felling axe, or like for some reason graceful has a value on here. So I don't really want to do that. So if I look at just my gear tab here, I have 1.7 bill right here. So we should be okay just selling this tab. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh no, I'm so scared. To be honest with you, this is a terrifying moment for me. Yeah, because I need to have a setup for Doom. That's the first place I'm going to go, is Doom. Okay, so let me see. Can't trade that. We're going to have to dismantle. 18 mil right there. Oh, I love to see these insta-selling right now. Beautiful. Okay, this is a great start. Let's uncharge the Serp Helm. Not an instant sell, that's sad. Oh, goodbye, my beautiful Soul Reaper axe. Oh. These are 240 mil alone. I didn't even realize how expensive those were. We're almost at a bill. All right, we are just over a bill now. 600 more mil to go. Oh, wait, do we have enough? Oh my gosh, dude! We got it! Holy, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow, we were able to keep a lot more than I thought we were. Yeah, so 226 mil is what we have left. There's still some, I can definitely sell, like, I don't need these. So let's drop that. Wow, okay. Let's go ahead and get our void out, because that's what we are going to need. Yeah, whatever I don't have to sell is like a big plus in my book. So yeah, we got to keep our Emberlight, so that's nice. I guess I don't need this anymore. I can... Okay, I guess, yeah, let's sell all these for another 42 mil. Beautiful. Okay. 85 mil right there. I mean, this is looking pretty good. Like, let me go to my Doom setup here. We've got all these. We got to keep the Light Bearer. Boom, 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 boom. One of these. Yep, so we've got all of our gear here. We got to keep our runes, all of our potions. So that's always a really good sign. Okay, let's talk plans. For this rebuild specifically, I plan on starting at Doom for 2 reasons. 1, the sheer lack of gear required, primarily being an Anguish, a Twisted Bow, and a set of Elite Void Armor. And 2, the death fees. Simply put, with this setup, my death fees come in at a mere 12,000 GP. This, paired with the fact that Doom has some incredibly valuable drops, should give me a great start to getting my gear back to where I was. Now, a very important aspect of doing a rebuild and RuneScape in general is to have goals. A lot of rebuilds fail because people tend to go in without a plan and don't do the most impactful content that they can and end up selling their weapon and buying their gear back. So, my first overarching goal is to get my non-ranged combat gear back to where I was. That means for melee, Bandos armor, a Rancor or at least a Torture, Face Guard, Osmumten's Fang, and some Primordial boots. For mage, we need an Eye of Ayak, Confliction gauntlets, Full Virtus, and Eternal boots. A little bit more expensive. So to figure out my path, I want to think about what content will be the most impactful for a rebuild, and therefore which gear will be most impactful for said content. Generally speaking, when considering a rebuild, you want to think of not only content that will be impactful, but content that you will enjoy and are capable of doing. Prior to the rebuild, the things that made me the most money were content like Yama, Araxor, Desert Treasure 2 bosses, and raids. With that in mind, I think it makes sense to prioritize the melee setup. 2 of the 4 Desert Treasure bosses are melee, Araxor is melee, Yama is melee, raids like Toa are a good split between melee and range with a bit of mage in the final phase. To figure out which items will be most beneficial overall, I'll be using Gearscape. Here, I've saved a copy of my current melee setup and I can run comparisons on which piece of equipment will be most impactful in the long run. A big trap a lot of people fall into is buying gear specifically for 1 or 2 pieces of content, like spending 28 mil for an Abyssal Bludgeon only to do a Raxor, is a total waste of GP. With Gearscape, I can run side-by-side comparisons between 2 pieces of gear against several different bosses to see which piece will be more effective overall, helping me decide what upgrade to go for first. Now, as far as my skill at Doom goes, the furthest I've gotten is Delve 6, so I haven't even gone all the way to Delve 8, so there's definitely going to be a learning curve here, but also I'm hoping that this Twisted Bow might carry me a little bit as far as the extra DPS that I'm going to be getting. Alright, we're here. Let's hope we can get some drops. Let's get started. $71. Oh, I'm gonna like this. A Spirit Seed? That's not even worth anything. It says it's 140k, but we all know that's not true. So to give you a very high-level overview on how the Delve works, the Delve is a wave-based boss that gets increasingly more difficult with each Delve up to level 8. The first few levels are pretty simple with some basic prayer switches and demonic larvae to watch out for. The real boss starts around waves 5 or 6, and as I mentioned earlier, my deepest delve is only cave 6, so we have some work to do. The way that drops work at this boss is quite unique. There are 3 uniques that we're looking for, each available at different caves. The first one is the Mokayotl Cloth, available as early as delve level 2, albeit at a rate of 1 in 2500. Combining this untradeable drop with the Tormented Bracelet will result in the creation of the Confliction Gauntlets, the best in slot mage gloves, which run for about 101 mil right now. The next item is the Eye of Ayak, available as early as delve 3 at a rate of about 1 in 2000. A 3-tick mage weapon which pairs very well with the gauntlets, running about 70 mil right now. The final item we're looking for is the Vernic Treads, a pair of best-in-slot Tribrid boots, available as early as Delve 4 at a rate of about 1 in 1300, giving us a whopping 236 mil on the Grand Exchange as of now. As we increase in Delve level, the drop rate for each of these items becomes more and more common, meaning that the further we can push, the better odds we have at receiving one of these items. Our first goal here is to perfect waves 6 and 7, as this is sort of a sweet spot for getting these drops. Alright, next hole. Another Spirit Seed, let's go. Nice. Another thing that I'm so upset about is like look at these two untradeable items. It says that I'm getting 645k here, but it's actually only 20k. Let's descend. Nice. Okay. Still nothing. Okay, so this is sort of the key here. These Mocha Waystones, the teleports, they are worth like 200k each, so I can definitely complete another floor. But I sort of want to play it safe and just try to get money wherever I can, because again, that's the purpose of the rebuild, is to get money. So we're going to claim and leave right here. Not a whole lot here, but again, yeah, that is worth almost 200k alone. So we'll go ahead and bank that and we'll leave. Now, you might be asking yourself, who is this devilishly handsome Giga Chad walking around wearing a Jad Slayer helm, a Max Infernal cape, dragon boots, an Amulet of Fury, Blood Moon, and an Abyssal Tentacle? Well, I'll tell you who. It's me, and I'm down bad for Slayer points, helping my clan with bingo. So yeah, this is very humbling, that's for sure. You know, I think one of the first upgrades I'm actually going to do is just get rid of these Blood Moon Tassets and buy the Bandos Tassets, because they're only 7 mil more. I've got the cash to spare, and I don't know, they just look a lot better in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and grab these and go from there. Oh man, I probably look very goofy right about now. So in order to keep things a little bit fresh, I want to try some other content as well, and my clan is doing a bingo right now, and we need uniques from Slayer bosses. So I am actually going to do a little bit of Cerberus, maybe some Hydra. I've heard that the Twisted Bow is great at those, so let's give those a shot. Oh man, the Twisted Bow is just shredding Cerberus. You love to see it. Ooh, there we go. That's a bit of money. And you know, I think this will let us get our first upgrade. Okay, the bank is a little unorganized right now, and I hope I can get to that soon, but I want to do my first, I guess, upgrade right now. What I'm going to do is go for the Basilisk Jaw to get the Nada's Knot face guard, because while it's not technically a Tribrid helmet, when you're going into raids, especially Toa, you really are just wearing that helmet pretty much the entire time. So I think that'll be an important upgrade to get now. I also don't have any melee helmet at all, so I think that's sort of the smart decision to make for now. So let's go ahead and grab that. All right, that is the Nada's Knot face guard acquired. Okay, so I finally got a chance to organize the bank a little bit here. All my other tabs are still pretty organized. I didn't touch any of these, but my gear tab was totally destroyed when I did the rebuild. So just to give you an idea of what we're working with a little bit here, we have our range setup, ammunition, like range ammunition, melee is right here. Mage, I'm just using a twin flame staff right now. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but I don't know, I guess we'll kind of see there. You know, it's 6.5 mil, right? Got Void, Guthans in case I need to do some gargoyles, I guess. I mean, these are, I cannot believe how cheap Guthans is these days. But yeah, so that's the gear tab for now, and we'll slowly be upgrading each of these slots individually as time goes on. Oh, okay, I think I'm gonna leave here. Yeah, we're gonna claim and leave. 370k is great. You know, the thing that's difficult about this boss especially is the fact that you don't just get drops, if that makes sense. Like at the end of a regular boss like Whisperer or whatever, you just get a drop. Sometimes it's worth 30k, sometimes it's worth 700k. Here, you sort of have to decide when you want to leave and when you think you might be able to, risk it again. I guess that's part of the fun of it, but it definitely you definitely have a lot of decisions to make when doing this to make sure that you are like risking it and learning, but also making enough money to move on. Anyway, that's a Delve 6 cleared, 400k, not too bad. Let's go ahead and claim that and leave. Now I know so many of you are asking, Local, in your maxing video you said that you were going to start pet hunting and you were starting with woodcutting. And I know you guys are dying for an update on that, so another thing that I'm sort of doing, like while I'm editing videos or while I'm at work, is I'm still chasing the beaver pet, currently at 27 mil woodcutting XP. We are not getting lucky with this, but we're at Rosewoods right now because each of these logs is about 1,000 GP. It's a 1 in 70k for the beaver pet here, so I'm doing that a little bit, like I said, while I'm working or editing a video to help build the cash stack back up a little bit. But while we're here, I wanted to talk a little bit about gear upgrades. Here I've got my tab of my current gear set up. If you're not familiar with Gearscape, you can actually, go in here and like duplicate your setup so you can sort of compare it. You do have to compare against a specific monster. So I just do, I don't know, let's do Vardorvis. We'll go ahead and do Vardorvis right here. So you can see, obviously, all the DPS on the right side is completely identical. If I go in here to figure out what upgrades are most impactful, I can just compare two pieces side by side. So if I wanted to see whether I should upgrade to an Amulet of Torture or upgrade this to a Bandos chestplate, we can obviously see that the Amulet of Torture is much better. It's gonna, well, I guess not much better. It's a 1% DPS increase over the Bandos chestplate. They're about the same price. I think I'm going to go with the Torture first here. The Blood Moon chestplate is very similar in DPS to the Bandos chestplate. Now, with that being said, I sort of wanted to compare between the Torture and the Primordial boots. Torture is still going to be a better upgrade. They are, again, very similar in price. This is about 21 mil. These are about 23 mil. Still is going to be a little bit better. So the Torture overall is just a better upgrade than some of the other things. So the first thing I'm going to get is the Torture. All right, and so now that we have our Torture, we can actually look at what our next upgrade should possibly be. Thinking about it here, we've got the Arania boots, which they are like early to mid-game tri-bred boots, so I think the Primordials are probably going to be best in slot here, but let's go ahead and find out. So Primordials, yeah, they actually give a max hit, which is really nice. Now, if I instead chose a Bandos chestplate, yeah, see, the Primordials are definitely better because they offer a max hit in this case. So the next thing we're going to upgrade to are the Primordial boots, and from there, we'll sort of see what comes next. All right, well, that's going to be it for the first video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would really, again, appreciate it if you showed your support. Like the video, subscribe maybe, leave a comment. If you watched this far, definitely leave a comment. That'd be sweet. But yeah, I'm really excited to see, where this goes, see if I can actually do what I'm wanting to, like get max gear from doing a rebuild like this. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.